At the tailback slot is Mark Gerald, number 47, 175-pound junior. At the fullback will be Brian Price, number 32, 185-pound junior. The wing back is Greg Grant, and Greg played basically defense last year. He'll be wearing number 14. He's 150 senior. On the defense, it'll be defensive ends. Will be Chip Thornton, 55, 185-pound senior, and Ron Sells, number 60, 185-pound senior. Both identical in weight. Both played last year at defensive end. At the defensive tackles will be Willie Gillespie, number 64, and Robin McCallie, number 66. Gillespie runs 215 pounds, and he's a junior. McCallie is a 200-pound senior. At the nose guard will be, I believe Stacy Deal has changed for that one, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's number 75. He's a 185-pound senior. At the linebackers will be Brian Price and Chris Taylor, both 185-pound juniors. Brian Price being number 32, and Chris Taylor wearing number 42. The safeties are Brian Self and Greg Grant. Brian being a 170-pound senior, Greg a 150-pound senior. Brian will wear 10, and Greg will wear number 14. The captains for tonight is number 60. That's Ron Sells, and can you see who the other one is? That's Chip Thornton, number 55, are the captains for tonight.
Jim, if I read that call...
Excuse me. Cornerbacks are Jim Laughlin and Chris Mooney, number 11 and 12 Mooney, both. Let's see, Laughlin is 100. That can't be right. Laughlin's not a senior. It's got him here, a 170-pound senior, but he's just a sophomore.
170-pound junior, I think.
170 pound. Okay, and Mooney is a 150-pound junior.
If I read the official's call right, I think Sikeston won the toss and elected to let Blytheville have their choice for this first half, and Blytheville has elected to receive. So Sikeston will have their choice the second half.
Let's see, I guess the Chickasaws are going to defend the north goal. They'll be on the left side of your screen. They'll be moving from left to right. The Bulldogs will be defending the south goal, and they'll move from right to left on your screen. Looks like a slight breeze blowing from the southwest to the northeast across the field. Looks like a beautiful night for football.
Field's in perfect shape. An ideal night. Like we said earlier, it's a little humid, particularly in this booth, but on the field there is some breeze, and that will be an aid to the players.
Yeah, they got a little breeze. We don't have much breeze up here at all,
Not at all. The Bulldogs, with 5 players listed going both ways, the heat, humidity may take a toll on them as we go along, but yet to be seen.
A lot of their practice was in weather that was quite a bit than this too, wasn't it?
Yes,
and that could make a difference.
Good early season weather for practice.
Deep for the Chickasaws is, let's see if we can catch those. Number 2, that would be Greg Gunby. He's a 155-pound senior, and can you catch the number on the other side? Is that 6 or 8?
Probably that's 6, Chris Lutz.
He's a big boy, 195-pound junior. Kick on to Lutz, he comes up the middle, and he's hit almost immediately at the 30-yard line. So the Chickasaws will start their first series of down from their own 30-yard line, or just shy of it. Looks like Chip Thornton will be the defensive captain for tonight as he gets his signals from the bench. Any word as to the formations that Chickasaws run out of?
It looks like a pro set, 2 split receivers and a split backfield.
Number 1 is quarterback Kevin Crawford. He was a defensive specialist till the middle of last year, and he pitches to number 45, which is Purvis Stewart. He's a 165-pound junior, and it looks like he picked up maybe 3.5 yards.
The quarterback Crawford's a big kid, a 195-pound senior.
He sure is.
As you said, I did read in the paper that he was a defensive back until about mid-season last year when he took over the quarterbacking duties for Blytheville.
It'll be a 2nd and 6 for the Chickasaws as they split out to this side. Looks like they got a little mix-up there as the ends change in as well as the backfield. The give is to Purvis again. He tries right over the middle, but he sure didn't get much there, did he?
No, a host of Bulldogs in on that tackle.
Let's see, it looks like Sales came off the bottom. He'll pick up another 2 or 3. We'll call it 2, and it'll be a 3rd and 4.
Pretty basic thus far. They've tried a running play off tackle to the left, and they've come back to the right side up and bringing up the 3rd down.
A little early yet for them to be doing much, isn't it? They'll probably go pretty close to basics to kind of get the jitters out. Looks like a quick hitter, and he's
almost
behind. Oh. As
Number
kind
12,
of surprised
Chris
Chris Mooney there, I believe.
Yeah.
That'll bring up a kicking situation as it's 4th and about 4 for the Chickasaws on their 35-yard line, or just past the 35.
So the relatively young, inexperienced Bulldog defense has held Blytheville.
Did a good job that first series,
downs.
didn't they? Is that Grant back deep
Yes.
for the Bulldogs?
Greg Grant.
Greg did a good job in when he came in the latter part of the last year in running. I'd look forward to seeing him. It's a quick jet. Looks like he can get outside. He could gain some yards as he passed the 5th line, cuts back in, cuts back down. He goes across the 30-yard line, and good run for Greg Grant.
Yes, it was. Very good. Got some couple of good blocks.
He showed a lot to me in that he did not try to outrun his blocking. He waited for his blocking to pick up at the corner, came around the corner, and got good yardage.
Yeah, he had a couple of blockers there waiting for him. He picked them up, followed them perfectly, and the Bulldogs opened up offensively. And
good start for the Bulldogs as they'll kick off their first series of downs on about the 27-yard line of the Chickasaws. It'll be Self up under with, let's see, that's 10. That'll be
quick pass intended for Joe Fetch. Thrown a little bit low. So in contrast to what Blytheville opened up with, comes right out throwing the football. Coach Vickery did state earlier in the season, too, that he would put the ball in the air.
It's kind of curious in that he has claimed that the Laughlin boy probably has a little stronger arm, but Brian is a little better runner. I would look for him to use the option a little more this year then.
Yeah, you're probably right. Again, with some inexperience in the backfield there, the option play may be a little deceptive for the Bucks, and they may try to run that some. I think Price carried that for a pickup of about 3.
Looks like they're shuttling the plays with Keith Buck. He's a 170-pound junior at the wing back, and number 85 is Joe Fetch. They're in the eye with a split to the wide side as Brian deep. Oh, it was intended to be a draw play and intended for number 32. That's Brian Price. It's incomplete.
Yeah, the middle screen, Jim, they had that set up pretty well. Self had been able to get the ball to Price. He had some blockers in front of him, and I think they picked up some good yardage.
Looked to me like that the middle was kind of clogged to the extent that they came in at uneven, and his screen man was a little close to the last defensive man there.
Yeah, that's, again, early in the season, you may expect some of those things, but that'll be worked out.
Self goes back. He again tries. He hits number...
Darrell Watson, number 80, the tight end.
He's going to be a little short of a 1st and 10, I believe. As they had to go to about the 18-yard line and...
about a yard short.
Yeah, I would say. So it'll be the... they had to go, I guess, to the 17-yard line because it looks like they're resting on the 18.
Still looking for a 1st down.
Both teams, aren't they? I'd rather us have it in our end, though.
Yeah, good position for the Bulldogs here to open up second time defensively.
As the Chickasaws come out in the pro set again, split to the far side. The pitch is to Purvis as he tries the wide side, and he'll pick up 3 or 4, maybe 5 yards, depends on where they put his knee down. He crossed the 20 to about the... looks like they're going to put it on about the 23-yard line. We'll call it 2nd and 5.
I'm a little surprised, Jim, that Blytheville's trying to run wide so much. They've got a big offensive front. Their tackles at 240 and 215. Their guards at 170, 185, and a 210-pound center, but they're going wide with the football early.
They sure are. by contrast, you know, our defensive ends are the strong, and the linebackers are the strong suit, I think, probably at the early season.
Yeah, and they ran just right into one of the defensive ends there.
That was McCallie comes off the bottom of that pile. Looks like Brian Price is now calling the defensive signals for the Bulldogs.
About 3rd and 3.
Bulldogs in a 5-2, looks like what we used to call an umbrella, 5-2 umbrella. Quarterback takes the fake, and he comes upfield, and he'll make his 1st and 10 by a goodly margin.
Flag deep in their backfield. It probably indicates a little offensive holding. We hope so.
That would be a big help at this stage,
yes,
wouldn't it?
It would. Would negate the first and 10 of the night. Yeah, against Blytheville.
We're still in the first quarter, no score, as this is only the 2nd series offensively for the Chickasaws. The Bulldogs had one. Neither team has had a 1st and 10, depending upon this particular call.
Now that one's going to come back.
They're talking with the Bulldogs, and obviously they're going to take the penalty, as that'll put them deep in their own territory. Must have been a holding, because it's a
major penalty.
We're down to about 7:09 left in the first quarter.
Blytheville backed up inside the Sikeston 10-yard line.
It'll be 3rd and about 25 or 20. Crawford drops a pass. He hits his end, he slides out, and he'll get back to almost the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, way short. That was Alvin Clay, the tight end, 194-pound senior for Blytheville. Picks up about 10 or 12, but forcing Blytheville to punt.
Again, the Bulldogs should have good field position on this offensive series of downs.
Very important here early in the season to come up with your first 2 offensive sets in good field position.
I would think it would add an awful lot if the Bulldogs could score on this series.
Oh, yeah, very much
give
so.
A lot of... A good, fair catch. As you saw the punter, he tried to get that...
The official went for the back pocket, but then he thought better maybe, and he didn't throw the flag. He could have, perhaps. There was a little contact made.
Like he tried to hop up just a little bit to intentionally get it, and I think generally in that kind of an instance they will not call it where he makes an extra move to try to get the call made for him.
I think he hung the leg a little too long there in the air, trying to draw the personal foul.
We've got 6:11 left in the first quarter. No score as the Bulldogs take over on their 2nd series of offensive downs, and they're just shy. Let's see, they are right on the 40, looks like about 42-yard line of the Chickasaw. So they got good field position. Okay, yeah, that's better. Thank you, Ron. Let's see, we've got what do we got, a timeout here?
I believe we do. I don't see who it was charged to.
I don't either. As I say, we have no score as the Bulldogs are on their 2nd offensive series. It's 6:11 left in the first quarter. Bulldogs have, in the early going, have shown very well on the defense, haven't they?
Yes, they have. They've performed twice well on against Blytheville.
And that probably is true. The defense at this stage of the season ought to be ahead of them, should they not?
Yeah, that's true. It's a little easier to teach defense early than what it is to get your offense in going. That was Gerald strung to the outside, and he may have lost a yard or 2.
Tries to go wide. We'll call it 2nd and about 12.
Again, I guess probably offensively, the Bulldogs, with Gerald and Price in the back and Grant some, not too much experience from last year, so it will take a little time maybe to get them into the offensive swing.
Also, you know, that's something that they've really got to do as a unit. They've got to know what each other does. I believe we got Jim Laughlin in the ball game also at quarterback. I believe he threw that pass.
Well, he went back to pass. Blocking broke down, and he was trapped for another big loss.
So we've got third and a whole bunch as we're coming up on 5 minutes left in the first quarter.
I think we've gotten a little bit spoiled for the last, seems like 5 or 6 years. Dennis Bean's been there in that backfield, and we had a hoss that we could go to when we needed a couple of games, and Dennis is not here. He's over at SIU now.
That makes a lot of difference. Well, it's a young outfit which, you know, basically will have to get that experience under their belt. I think they've got some talent there. Hopefully they can gel early, because if it don't, that could make it for a long season.
Well, as you said, they've got to play together for a little while and get the feel of things and come together.
Laughlin hits his intended receiver, and it's going to be part of a 1st and 10.
Joe Fitch.
Nice pass, nice catch.
Well thrown ball, too.
That'll be a 4th and... well, they show a 1st. That can't be a 1st and 10 because we're shy about 8.
Now they're changing.
There we go. Okay, 4th and about 8 yards. He was so far back, he thought when he passed that standard he could just change it, huh?
Yeah, we hoped it was 1st and 10. Laughlin out, Self back in. To do the punting.
Okay, Brian is... Uh-oh, we're going to get a delay of game?
Yes.
A little too long. Again, had a man coming in a little late. That was Dana Carter. Everybody's still trying to remember what their assignments are, I guess, at this early stage.
That's a problem early in the season to get your teams, your punting teams, your kickoff teams out there, even though you practice it and go over it and over it. At times, in the excitement of a game, you'll have the 11th player that won't make it out to the field.
And that's something that in practice is, in all honesty, not practiced as much as, let's say, your offensive sets or your defensive sets.
Sure, that's true. 71 punting. Kelly Grubbs. Kyle Grubbs.
Oh. Almost a mishandle there, but the boy did a good job to maintain control of it, as they'll pick up the ball and take it on about the 12-yard line.
Well, as long as we can play from the middle of the field to our left here, Jim, we'll be in good shape.
That's right. Maybe we'll get, it's just one of those plays will just happen to pop, and if you're short yardage to the goal, why, you got a real shot at it.
That's true.
Looks like our wind has pretty well died down. The old flag's kind of limp on the pole. Maybe that'll heat them up on the field a little quicker.
Yeah.
Chickasaw split ends on both sides as they have the pro set. Crawford calling the signals. And the give is to Purvis again as he's hit. As he tries to turn the corner, he'll pick up a couple of yards coming around, maybe as far as the 15. Let's see where they put the ball down.
Willie Gillespie in on the tackle. Defense has been impressive. They're swarming well, good gang tackling, and the plays to the outside, good penetration and good coverage to the outside. The defense is playing well.
They do look very well. They all look like they know where the ball is and react very well. It's 2nd and about 7. As Crawford calls the signals, looks like he wants to pop a quick. He's got somebody on him. He's going to try it again. He gets it away to number 6. As he just stayed there, a big boy, and they just couldn't pull him down.
Under pressure, but he took a step back or so and found Chris Lutz, his flanker, over the middle, a 200-pound flanker for the initial 1st and 10, I guess, right?
First and 10.
They had one that was called back by a penalty, but Crawford was under good pressure. The Bulldogs were putting some heat on him, and he's a tall kid and was able to get the ball off to Lutz in the middle.
And they show him weighing in at about 95 pounds. That's a big boy for a quarterback in high school. He makes that quick step. Looks like he likes that quick pass in. Throwing it a little behind him.
And intended for L.D. Anderson. Yeah, the flanker, the split man that split way out is faking a step to the outside and then coming back quick across the middle. It's a good pattern. It takes some timing and some practice to get that down. Once you do, it's always a good yardage picker up.
I was going to say that one's going to be tough if he ever starts to click with it, because they're actually beating the cornerback on it as he's going deep. He tries to get out of it. He looked a little bit confused once he got up to the front end of the line.
Thought he had more room straight up the middle, but he took a cut to the outside. Sells in on the tackle.
He loses a little yardage back on the 30-yard line, so it's 3rd and 10 for the Chickasaws.
Under 2 minutes in the first quarter, again with no score.
So it's a good quarter for the Bulldogs defense. Long count as Crawford calls the signal. He drops deep this time. Bulldogs gave him a little pressure. He's going to try to run it. He's close to the 1st and 10, and he just passes it. Looks like he's going to, as he slid off tackle, he picked up quite a bit of yardage there.
Got the yellow flag on the field. I believe that will be against Blytheville. We'll bring that 1st and 10 run back. Crawford setting up to throw a pass, and that may be a quarterback draw or a type of a draw that he's running, because he does step back a couple of times, and he will pop it quick to the outside, but he'll fake that and then keep it and run up the middle, and he's been pretty successful at that.
What was that, backfield in motion?
I think that little illegal procedure.
So it'll be 3rd and 15 instead of 1st and 10 with 1:15 left in the first quarter. Crawford doesn't look that quick to me.
No, he doesn't. He did get to the outside then and picked up some pretty good, but he's not quick off the football.
Short drop again as he tries that loop.
Thrown out of bounds.
Looked like they were picking on the cornerback this time, as he was new to it. That's Gerald's. Pretty good call, because he tried to look like he paced it between the safety and the cornerback. Just loop it in there.
Just hung it up and hoped his receiver would be able to run under it. Pretty well covered.
So it'll be a situation for the Bulldogs, and again, the Bulldogs should be in good field position.
With a decent return from Grant, the Bulldogs should open up in Blytheville territory once again.
And we're just under 1 minute left in the first quarter.
Pretty good kick.
Good fit, as Grant has some good moves. He's not very big, but he sure does have some good deceptive moves.
Yeah, good hard-nosed football player. Played some excellent defense last year. Of course, we've got him going both ways at the flanker or the wing back this year, along as a safety on defense. So Greg's one of the two-way players. In addition to receiving punts, and probably be back on the kickoff.
So he'll get lots of exercise.
Yes.
We're down to less than a minute in the first quarter. No score. The Chickasaws have not been out of their own territory. The Bulldogs, on the contrast, have never been in their own territory. They've been in the Chickasaws' territory.
Yeah, offensively, they've started a good field position each time, and they have moved the ball a little bit. If they can just keep the good field position, they'll push one in here before long.
In fact, this is their deepest start of the offensive set. They're just on the 47 or 8 yard line?
Right at the 40.
No, wait a minute. We're at the 40. Looks like we had a timeout. I didn't catch who called the timeout.
The officials all mopping their brows out there, so they're perspiring too.
Grant is split to this side. Is it Self back at the quarterback?
Yes.
The pitch, uh-oh. Fumble as the pitch is
Pitch was just a little bit behind Gerald's, maybe something he could have handled, but ball falls to the ground, and I think he got it back.
So we'll have a loss of about 4 yards.
Again, there's something I'm sure they worked on in practice a long time, but it's a little different when you get into the game situations, and the pitch and the handoff, the connection there was just not perfect at this time.
Yeah, get the jitters out. You got that first jitters, and kind of get everybody settled down as we're running down. Quick handoff to
ball again.
Ball popped out.
Still loose.
And the Bulldogs pick it up as it was flying around. It looked like somebody used their helmet to it really popped up in the stack, and then it was recovered by Greg Grant.
Now, Gerald's popped through the middle and it picked up 4 or 5 yards, and somebody put a helmet right on the football, and he lost it and grabbed it.
And that's, again, with a young, experienced team, as you notice him going back to the huddle, he's a little dejected. He's got to get those things out of his system and just keep playing good, hard-nosed football.
You hate to fumble, but as long as you can keep Bulldogs around it when it is on the ground and you get it back, then that's not quite as bad.
That's right. As we go into the second quarter, there is no score. Bulldogs will now be going from left to right on your screen as they defend the north goal.
Jim, while we've got a minute, I'd like to send out some get well wishes to Mr. Steve Mosley, who is at home recuperating, and is feeling better, and hopefully to get back in the swing of things here before very long.
Well, we hope he does.
We need Steve's support here at the game.
He's always been a good rooter for the high school.
Yes, he is. Self-throwing deep.
Long pass. He's got some. Just overshot him. He had just broken free and just overshot him.
Had Grant open at about the 20. Self hung the ball up, but just a little bit overthrown.
That'll make it a 4th and about 15 yards, 16 yards. That'll make a good decision. You punt?
Yes, we're going to punt, hopefully to pin Blytheville back deep again in their territory. If we can get the punter on the field.
He just came in. That's Kyle Grubbs. Sophomore, huh?
Uh-huh.
Getting some good roll.
About the 13.
So they pin him deep again. Not a bad kick.
Not a lot of height, but a good roll. And again, Blytheville's back deep in their own territory.
If we keep them inside that 10 or 20-yard line, we'll be in good shape. Maybe we can generate a little offense in.
Right. Force Blytheville into a fumble and pick it up down in that area.
Again, the end splits to this side. The backs are split. Crawford is barking the signals. The give is to
up the middle for nothing.
Straight up the middle, and he doesn't get in that whole middle of the line.
Sells met him in there.
Is that 68?
68, along with McClarty.
Second, they give him a half a yard. So it'll be second 9.5, ball shy of the 15-yard line. End split to both sides this time. It has been the pattern that they tried the quick end pass. They're going a little deep for that. He's going over the middle.
Good tackle by Grant.
Picked up his 1st and 10.
Ran into Alvin Clay, a 194-pound senior, but Grant upended him. It's a nice catch and a nice pass by Blytheville. Grant was right off it, but it is a Blytheville 1st and 10.
Hopefully that'll send signals. He'll next time he'll hear those feet behind him.
He'd have to, yeah.
So at this stage, the Chickasaws are the only ones with any 1st and 10s, and they haven't been out of their own territory yet. They've got 2 1st and 10s, had 2 others which have been called back by penalties, And again, he's going wide, and he's going to lose 5-6 yards.
Gillespie in quick to put some pressure on the running back that time. Forced him deep to the outside, and a loss of about 4 or 5.
They've just been excellent against the run, whether it be wide or whether they try up the middle. It just have really shut it down. If they can keep the pressure on the quarterback, I think they would probably cut down their potential in the passing department also.
Yeah, they have moved the football a little bit through the air, not much at all on the ground.
Drops deep. Looked like the only runs that he's got as he tries deep. Got a man wide open as he waited just long enough for that backfield to come up. And
awfully close to the line of scrimmage when he threw the football, but it did draw the cornerbacks and some of the safeties up, and that left Chris Lutz open down the left sideline for a pickup of 52 yards.
And that's the first time that Chickasaws have been into the Bulldog territory. The one thing you have to say about Crawford, he can see downfield. He keeps his head up. He's aware of what's going on around him.
Yeah, he picks two while he's running, and which is that's a sign of a good quarterback that's able to find his receiver while he's scrambling.
Let's see, we got a timeout. What are we doing? Oh, we're getting a little equipment adjustment here. Looks like Self's going to get some help.
So the defense is going to have to rise to the occasion now as Blytheville has moved into the Bulldog territory for the first time.
They're on the Bulldogs' 27-yard line. 9:20 left in the half. No score. We got a timeout, Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think if you can't get that equipment repaired for that individual real quick and you don't send a substitute in, then they will charge you with a timeout. Well, at this point, that's not so bad to get Coach Fiddler out on the field and regroup his defense, getting ready to attempt to hold Blytheville at this point.
As you know, a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, they made the rule that the coaches could now come onto the field into the huddle. And
yeah, that's a heck of a good rule. I don't know why that wasn't thought of or proposed long before that. This is a learning experience anyway, and you call them out and you send one player over there and you put a lot of pressure on him trying to take or relay messages back. So why not allow those coaches to come out and talk to the whole group as a unit?
I agree. I think that's we've got to keep that in mind, that this whole athletic program is a learning experience for the kids. At least we haven't gotten to the business as colleges have yet in the high school. Hopefully we get to that.
Yeah. One disadvantage to that, though, if you've made a mistake or something, and the coach can come right out there and address you right on the field.
Said you'd rather have him a little further away, wouldn't you?
Well, he's going to get you sooner or later because you're going to go to the sideline sometime. Well, the Bulldogs got to gear up and hold here.
Okay, so we're ready for action again. And a split to the far side and splits out to this side. Like we got we're going to shift the end.
Tight end to the wide side, up the middle.
Looks like you're going to overbalance line. And he just kept powering through there. He really got the power. He absolutely picked up 5 yards on his own with about 3 men on him, didn't he?
Now, Elroy Holloman there, 180-pound senior.
As we could wind, 9 minutes left in the first half. No score, as this is the first threat by the Chickasaws. In fact, the first time that they've been into Bulldog territory. Ends are split again. Have the split backfield. On balance to the right. Ooh, looked like that
no
halfback on this side was a little quick, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was about a half a count ahead snap count, but apparently was all right from down on the field.
So we've got just across the 20. That'll make a third and about 2. Ends are split again. Unbalance the line to this side.
Yeah, tight end. No, he's shifting back to the wide side.
To the far side. So we got a
awfully close to the 1st and 10, but that
we got a flag on this side. I would think that it's on the Chickasaws. Relatively free of penalties early in the game.
Yeah, you expect a few. You don't like them anytime, but you are a little more forgiving early in the season. But the Bulldogs, I don't recall them having a flag yet.
I don't think so.
Ron says 1 for 5. Going to bring up about a 3rd and 7.
Moves the ball back just inside the 25. Excuse me. Ends are split. Unbalanced to the far side. And it'll be 3rd and about 8 or 9. About 8, I guess, 7 or 8. Quarterback keep. He passed it and it was a little short as his man was down and it was behind him. And we got a flag again.
Watching the other side of the field at where the pass was thrown and didn't see what.
I'm not sure.
Bulldogs may decide to decline that one and bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Pushing against Blytheville. I guess the split wide receiver is going down the field, shoved the Bulldog defender, and flag was thrown. Bulldogs did decline that. Should bring up a 4th and about 8. Long 7.
Still having a discussion.
Now they're going to
take the penalty. Move that ball way back.
Yeah, that's going to make it 3rd and about 25.
Now that's an interesting call. That'll make a good call for the Monday morning quarterbacks.
Yeah, they lost the down on that too.
Oh,
so that made their decision pretty easy.
Yeah, that's no question then. As we got a double. I'm not sure.
Grant's back. That's Self.
Sick it and
hit pretty hard.
Yeah, and we're pinned pretty close. That's interesting. Most of the time you warn about catching inside the 10.
Yeah, he did catch that long at about the 10 and struggled forward for a couple of yards.
May have figured there that looked like they were down and covering pretty well, and that somebody may have gotten that ball because they were pretty close to him when the ball was down.
Yeah, they could have downed it and pinned Sikeston a little further back than what they are. Of course, he could have used a fair catch too and saved himself a little pain there. Or Stump Mitchell doesn't fair catch him either.
That's right. So Bulldogs take over, and they're deep in their own territory, and that's a new experience for them.
Yes, it is. First time they've been back that deep at all.
In fact, this is the first offensive set of downs that they've been in their own territory, I believe.
I think you're right.
They take the ball on their own, looks like about 13-yard line, 1st and 10. We've got 7.5 minutes left in the half, and there's still no score.
Of course, last year at Blytheville, it took 3 overtimes to decide this first season opening football game a year ago.
Well, let's say we can do it. If it's right on the right side, we'll take it in the regulation game, huh?
Okay. Laughlin in at quarterback.
Would indicate some passing coming. Uh-oh. What do we got?
Give up the middle. Some good faking in there.
Sure did.
42, Chris Taylor.
The
first and 10.
Picked up a good first, and that's the first good offensive.
Yeah, he did reverse out of there a little bit of showed a little bit of the option type play, but he gave it to Taylor up the middle. Good pickup. Coming out of the eye.
Coming back across. Now that's what Grant did last year, was that play that he came the wing back.
That little wing back across, a reverse, or whatever you want to call it, where he comes back from the one side, back off tackle to the opposite side. Again, a play that's got to be well blocked and well timed to be any good.
Yeah, because that takes lots of time when you. So it'll be a second, about 11. They lost maybe a yard, half yard in the eye. Split to both sides. The give is to Gerald.
And in trouble.
That's number 47, and he is in trouble.
You're right, Gerald.
Yes, okay.
A couple of Chickasaw defenders in on that play pretty quick. They read that one well, and they just were in the backfield with Gerald.
At this stage, we just can't get that running game to work.
I think it's a little questionable how much speed that the Bulldogs have. I don't think they've got the outside breakaway, blazing type of speed, so just going to be after something we're going to have to live with, and we just don't have the burner this year.
Well, we got some
official time.
Not sure what the problem was, but we had an official timeout, so we'll get started here again. We're just under 6 minutes left and no score.
Ron just says every time Mark Gerald has touched the ball, it's been for minus yardage. We're minus 13 yards. Of course, a couple of those were fumbled in the backfield. They fumbled that ball. I believe the Chicks, yep. Blytheville's got it.
You just can't keep doing it. They're bound to pick up one.
No, it appears that he's grabbing for the football instead of making the old standard pocket and letting the quarterback put it in there. And maybe the ball might be wet, but he's just not making connections with that football.
Sure isn't. Again, possibly, you know, where you've got two different quarterbacks working, a lot of times that timing is off.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a factor.
As we're under 5.5 minutes, as the Chickasaws once again want to knocking on the door as they take over on about the 19-yard line of the Bulldogs.
Yeah, we asked the defense to do it again late in the first half as the Chickasaws are threatening.
We've got a timeout. Chip Thornton calls timeout as they line up. That's interesting. I wonder if that was done just for the sake of, well, maybe here comes the coach out. Maybe they saw something and they wanted to change it real quick.
Yeah, there might have been something in that alignment that they hadn't before, and a good time to use a timeout, particularly that deep in your own territory, to get a coach out there and let him explain it.
Breeze is picked up again as the flag begins to move from the pole. It looks just on and off, doesn't it?
Yeah, somebody's flipping the switch down here on us.
5 minutes, 10 seconds left in the first half. No score. Bulldogs have played an excellent defensive ball game.
And they've been on the field a good portion of this first
sure
half.
Have. I guess 60% of the yardage that the Chickasaws have, maybe even higher than that, if come in the one long pass play, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Now, we might mention the coaches for the Bulldogs this year have a new addition, but Charlie Vickery is once again the head coach. His assistants are Randy Fiddler, Jerry DeMint, Don Porter, and Ken Potasic up from the junior high helping with the varsity this year. Trainer John Harris, managers Rodney Hurt and Jody White. Some of those people are overlooked at times, your manager and your trainers, but they do work very hard.
They sure do.
And an integral part of any football team. Well, back to action.
As the Chickasaws split both ends, backfield split, and it's given to the fullback as he powers right up through the middle. He may have picked up 3 or 4 yards.
Not much, the Bulldog defense closed it down pretty good.
That'll make it a second. Let's say he picked up 3, and call it 2nd and 7.
Dana Carter in on that tackle.
Ball on about the 18-yard line. And we're running down under 2 minutes left in the first half and no score, as the defense really sucks it up here to see if they can stop the Chickasaws from scoring before we go in at the half.
We want to throw this one.
Rolls out, and the ball was stripped away from him.
Ron Sells.
And we've got a flag. I'm not sure what it's going to be. May have been an illegal block in the backfield here, a holding. That's exactly what we've got, number 72, I believe. Yeah. Well, I believe we'll decline that and take the ball, won't we?
Yeah, Crawford came running out of there, and he had a little bit of an opening to the outside, but Ron Sells came in and just simply took the ball out of his. Good defensive play by Ron Sells.
Well, that defense has just played excellent the first half here, as they've kept the Bulldogs in the ball game. Decline, Bulldogs ball. They'll take over on the 18-yard line. 1st and 10.
But as Blytheville did in the first quarter, the Bulldogs are opening their offensive drives deep in their territory.
That's true.
Their own territory here, yeah.
Must be this end of the field, you think?
It might be.
We've got 4:13 left in the half.
Self in at quarterback. Give to Price, and he's met and stood straight up.
Just not generating anything in that offense. It's like they're ganging up, and it's going to make it tough.
Alvin Clay in on the tackle for Blytheville.
With under 4 minutes left, no score as the Bulldogs try to get something on the board before we go in at halftime. Give is to Gerald. He pops eyed, and he'll pick up 2 or 3 yards as he crosses the 20 down to about the 21-yard line.
Good positive run by Gerald. It's got to be a confidence builder. Last couple of times he's touched the football, he's lost the handle on it. But I noticed that time he opened the pocket and he had it in the stomach and he was bent over it well. And it's a little confidence builder there for Mark.
I would suspect that if he's given a little room, he's got long legs, he can probably move that ball pretty well.
Yeah, I can remember a few times last year out to the outside. Again, he doesn't have the burning type of speed, but probably is as quick as anybody that we've got back there.
Coach Vickery comes on the field as the Chickasaws called the timeout this time. We're down to just under 3.5 minutes left. It'll be a 3rd and 7 as the Bulldogs come back to the line of scrimmage. No score. Has been quite a defensive struggle this first half.
Yeah, of course, the scoreboard indicates that. Again, the Bulldog defense has done very well, as you mentioned earlier, and that's quite true. It's a little easier to get your defense ready. They've got certain areas, responsibilities, and you teach that, and they can go out and play against any offense. But on the other side of the coin, it's a lot harder to teach your offense to go against different types of defenses. And to try to incorporate your running offense and your passing offense, it just takes a little time and doesn't come around as quick as what the defense does.
Also, in your offense, you've got a little more coordination between people than you do in defense sometimes, and so you've got the timing is very important there.
Particularly in your line play on offense, your blocks have to get down. You've got to coordinate with your other people, but on defense, you just go for that football and stop.
Again, there it is, and he breaks out, and he's free. If he just slowed down a couple of times. If he 1 or 2 men, and he'd have made a real long run, I think, out of that one.
Yeah, that was Grant back on that wing back trap as he comes across. It looked like he might have been open. It's easy to see up here. If he had cut it back up toward the middle, he strung it out a little bit. And that allowed some of the Chickasaws to get him over toward the sideline. But it does pick up the 1st and 10.
And he had a good opening at the line.
Big hole.
Grant split to this side. Backfield is split. As Self calls the signals. He dropped back to pass. Going to be throwing deep. Oh, looks like we might get... I thought we were going to get some pass interference there. It looked like they bumped pretty good.
Awfully close. Couldn't tell if the receiver got tangled up in his own feet or the defender's feet, but a little contact was made. Apparently judged incidental by Mr. Official over there.
He was right on it, so I assume that he saw what was going on.
Self hung that ball up for a pretty good distance.
He sure did.
Nice thrown pass.
Again, the same alignment as Grant splits out to this side, and can't tell who's on the far side. Fetch. A quick opener to Fetch, and almost, as it's batted up, incomplete. So that makes it a second, third, and 10.
Keith Buck, 33, I think, is that the wide receiver split to the left side that pass was intended for. As he leaves and didn't catch the number that came in.
Into the eye. With the slot back on the far side. The pitch is to Gerald as he cuts back up. He did a good job that time as he cut back in behind his blockers. Uh-oh, we've got a flag going into the middle of the pile. Sometimes that means what, base masking or something?
Maybe piling on unnecessary roughness. Blytheville's pointing towards Sikeston.
Clipping. Uh-oh.
Bulldogs. Tough break run by Gerald. A good cut back toward the middle of the field, but it's coming back now. Clipping.
It must be this end of the field. That's what happened to Blytheville, wasn't it?
Yeah.
First quarter. As we're down to almost 2.5 minutes left in the half. No score. As the Bulldogs are trying to get some offense generated, to get something on the board as we go in for halftime. As they back the ball back, and it brings it back, that's 15, and it'll make it, what, a third and about 20? About 15, I guess.
Well, I hope we're beginning to see the offense roll around a little here. A couple of good runs by Grant, that wingback reverse. A couple of good runs by Gerald's in here. Offensive line obviously doing a good job against a big Blytheville defensive front.
They really do. They have that, particularly the middle of that offensive line of Blytheville is really big. Uh-oh, all over him.
Self never made connections with that ball. That was up around his head and his neck. Number 7 comes in very quickly. Felix Ruffin.
Not sure really what that was. Maybe a fake, and he just lost control of the ball.
Yeah, I think from the snap, the ball was just up, and he just couldn't find the handle on it.
So we're under 2, and it'll be a 4th and whole passel. So the Bulldogs will kick. Hopefully we can get a long, long kick out of here. Roll it down to the far side.
Kyle Grubbs back now, asked to do a good job here punting.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, gets it off.
It gets it off. It's going to be a little short. Uh-oh, we've got it. As he tried to grab that ball, he was just lucky in that thing.
Kind of oozed out, but he was able to get back on it before a Bulldog.
Minute and a half left as Chickasaws take over. They'll take over on their own, on the Bulldogs' 7-yard line.
How long before they're going to come back to that long pass, maybe, or try to go deep with a pass?
Hopefully, hope it's after a minute and a half.
Of course, you've got the defense in a prevent. You've got your secondary at 15, 20 yards deep.
Quick opener as he hits that. That's precisely the play we were talking about.
And
that slant.
Yeah. The step to the outside and in across the middle. That was Felix Ruffin on the reception. Big pickup for the Chickasaws.
And you saw it coming. They were just not connecting in the first part of the ball game.
It's a hard pass to defense. It's tough for the cornerback to stay with that man, but as he fakes in across the middle, you hope to get some help from your secondary people, but that time it was a little late in coming.
That's really a tough pass, particularly where you're playing that umbrella defense. When he gets past that cornerback, you've got a wide open middle spot there, don't you?
That's right. You've got to get some help from the offside in a hurry.
Could not tell who the down man was. Number 9? 8, maybe. Greg Latham? Not sure. Let's see. We're not sure who. Yeah, we're trying to.
Okay, they say it is number 8, Greg Latham, that up on his feet now.
Looks like maybe a leg or an ankle. He's hobbling. Yeah, that's number 8. It would be Greg Latham. He's a senior, 170 pound, plays defensive back and quarterback. Okay, we've just got just over a minute left in the ball game. Excuse me, in the first half. Really trying to shorten this thing in a hurry, wasn't it?
And with no score, Blytheville threatening at the Bulldog 5.
Okay, it'll be first and goal from the 5 for the Chickasaws, as they really put the meat up in the line now.
Everybody's on the line. You've got to have people in the back.
Yeah, you do that. That's it. Timeout. Bulldogs. You can't have over 7 in the line, can you?
Well, you can get them a half a yard off, and I think some of the people that were lining up to the right side of the line, they were off, but Bulldogs
I've seen the line off that much, have you?
Bulldogs using wise judgment again and not recognizing that offensive set, as we didn't, took a timeout about it. Leave it to somebody from Arkansas
to come up with something like that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, as big as the quarterback is, I would say they wouldn't need anybody else in the backfield.
That's right. You put 10 guys in front of him and let him run forward and maybe pick up 5.
Especially when you got a first and 5. He could fall 2 yards at a time, couldn't he?
Yeah, if he gets any forward thrust from those big offensive linemen.
So we've got a minute and 9 seconds left in the first half. No score as the Chickasaws are threatening. It'll be a first and 5 from the Bulldog.
Going to be interesting to see this offensive set. Yeah, they're rule says you've got to have 7 men on the line of scrimmage.
Oh, they're just shifting out of it.
Well, I don't see much point in that, but Bulldogs still all jammed in the middle.
Okay, and they didn't get much out of that.
No.
There's a flag, and I don't know what we got.
I hope it be some type of offensive illegal formation.
Formation, maybe it somebody. It came out of our backfield. It's against the.
We knew what that meant.
Okay, that's
failure to wear required equipment.
Somebody didn't have their mouthpiece in, I'll bet you.
Yeah, it has to be that.
Well, that's a help. We'll take that 5. Second and 10 from the, or second and goal from the Bulldogs 10. 15, excuse me. Oh, no. There you go. Scoreboard was off. I thought it was 10. That took up 5 seconds. Minute 4 left in the first half. Chickasaw threatening. Unbalanced the line to the right. The men are split as he fades. Tries to roll out, and he's, good thing his man couldn't keep his balance.
Gillespie putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but was picked up by one of the backs and blocked him out, and does complete a pass for a pickup of.
Chickasaws call the timeout as it rolls down to 40 seconds left in the first half.
Picked up about 4 on that pass play.
So it'll be a third and goal from the 6. No score. Quite an accomplishment if the defense can hold here.
Certainly is. I didn't have much of a chance to watch their place kicker during the pregame, so I don't know what type of, if Blytheville doesn't make this, if they'll set up for a field goal.
Yeah, you would think that they would at least get 3 points out of the thing. But you still have to say the defense have played an excellent first half.
They've been on the field the biggest part of the first half, and they've done well. They've answered every call up until right now, and they've shut the Chickasaws down. I don't think we've got any new numbers there defensively that we might not have called yet.
Okay, I don't spot any either.
I don't know if the numbers are getting smaller, we're getting farther away, or it's my eyesight. Some of those numbers are getting harder to distinguish from up here.
I don't think these bifocals work well on that.
May have to move down to the track, call the second half.
Okay, let's see. We're having a little discussion with the Chickasaws coach. I'm not sure what it's about.
Well, the officials are going to talk over now.
Okay, not sure what it is. Maybe they're not sure. We've got 40 seconds left. Let's see what we're doing here. Wait a minute here. We're going to... Nobody's sure what anything is yet. Third down.
Well, somebody ought to be able to figure it out down there. Ron said it should be third down.
We'll just call it halftime and go on in then.
Yeah,
you think they'd agree with that?
Blytheville's taking too long here. Let's just blow the gun down and go in. All this time they ought to be able to call a play to try to get it in the end zone. I'll give them an extra down, are they, Ron?
They got to the second down, so let's see where we are.
Should have been running the clock through all this.
Fades back, quick in, slant in.
Good coverage.
Nope.
Grant and Mooney right there on the receiver, incomplete.
You could tell they called a timeout again. Okay. Now we're going to try the third down. Maybe we can do it on this end. You know, we moved it back one on that down. That made it second. We can move it forward on this one. When they get up to the line of scrimmage, we'll show it's the fourth down.
Right.
One thing about it, it didn't take long. 4 seconds.
No, that's all, yeah. 36 left. I don't see any indication down in front of us here from the Chickasaw bench. Anybody anticipating a field goal attempt. Don't see any kicker picking up the tee, loosening up his leg. Maybe he's on the field.
They're going to anticipate they play this one and
then go.
Won't have to worry about it, huh? I assume you saw probably the Alabama-Georgia game.
Did watch on TV.
Had that last minute and a half was more football than they played the rest of the ball game.
Good game to watch.
It shows how much and how far you can go in how short a time.
Of course, watch it on Sunday in the pros when they get to that 2-minute drill. How quickly they can move that ball up and down the field in 2 minutes, and you wonder why they can't do it earlier in the
ball game.
Of course, defense go into a prevent.
That makes a lot of difference, doesn't it?
Allow some things they don't earlier. Well, here we go, big third down.
This could be the key down right here. As they split both ends, he drops deep. Going to be trying to pass as he's going to try to run it.
Got a man open in the corner.
And he can't make it.
Thrown just a little bit high, intended for Chris Lutz in the very corner of the end zone.
Good job as they really applied the pressure there as he rolled out. We're not going to let him run.
Yeah, Sales coming from the backside in pursuit of Crawford.
That's the thing they have to do, though. They really have to apply that pressure to the quarterback, particularly a quarterback like that where a big boy, if he gets a head of steam up, he can fall 5 yards.
Yeah, he's pretty good at scrambling. He doesn't drop exactly straight back to pass. He'll roll either right to his left.
Okay, we're little less than a half a minute left in the half, and they're going to go for it. This could be a big play. Out again.
And
beautiful.
Dogs have held.
In fact, I really thought there was maybe a little bit of offensive interference as he tried to elbow his way out. But the defense has held here, and it's kind of an interesting. Maybe he doesn't have a kicker, you think?
I don't know. They no indication of it there. Same type of pattern, trying to get the ball to Lutz. It worked his way into the very back corner of the end zone, and the ball was just a little bit overthrown. And the Bulldogs take it over.
A good call, and in fact was open.
Yes, he was. Both third and fourth down plays, he was open. Deep inventory, 23 seconds left. I think the Dogs hopefully just run it out here and regroup at half.
Uh-oh, quarterback snuck a thing out there. Best play of the night.
Laughlin trying to eat up a little time.
said, I'm ready to go down once you guys get on me.
Picks up about 12.
So it'll be a 1st and 10. Out to about the 19-yard line. Boy, it would be tough if he'd break that thing and go all the way, wouldn't it? We've got 10 seconds left in the first half.
Don't believe they'll get
no
another
score.
one off. They're going to let it run out.
Going to let it roll as we'll go in from here. As the half ends, the Bulldogs are tied with the Chickasaws. No score. And it's a good first half. Offense a little slow to generate, but that I guess you can expect.
Defense played well. I think we could see some indication of the offense picking up a little bit there toward the middle to the end of the second quarter. Some of the plays were beginning to gel and regroup a little bit here at half. The Bulldogs had their option to open the second half. I'm sure they'll take the football. And after some little regrouping and some coaching from the staff at halftime, they'll be ready to come out.
I hope so. Ron's scurrying there to get our statistics done here.
Let these nice people watch the band here, and then we'll come.
Okay, Ron, you got the statistics you'd like to give us for the first half here? Ron Klutz.
Like I'm getting it figured out here. It looks like Blytheville has about 20 yards total running offense, which I think is an amazing statistic for the Dogs, as young as they are. We gave them about 124 yards of passing offense. Of course, most of that was done on two. They got 84 yards on two passes, so they got all but 40 yards of that on two throws. They had about okay. And then we're gonna end up here. Let's get the band in here, and then I'll get the Dogs, because I'm gonna do them individually, and I haven't got all those figures. So we'll get the band, and then we'll get back to it.
I will. Hey, how you doing? Fine. We now turn the spotlight on the exciting 1985 SHS twirling line. Sanja Hamra, Denise Rutledge, Lori Davis, Kelly Newton, Sarah Jarvis, and head twirler for 1985, Sherry Carlisle. Also a member of this year's twirling line is Lisa Davis, unable to perform tonight due to an injury. The girls have chosen as their music tonight, The Heat Is On, from the motion picture Beverly Hills Cop. Watch now as the Marching Bulldogs present their version of the Richard Rogers classic, You'll Never Walk Alone. As the band prepares to conclude this evening's halftime presentation with a traditional red and black, we'd like to thank you for your kind attention and warm applause, and invite you to join us next Saturday to help celebrate the 100th meeting between the Sikeston Bulldogs and the Charleston Blue Jays in Charleston.
Okay, looks like we've got our stats all figured out here now for the Bulldogs' first half. As I said a while ago, we've got the Blytheville Chickasaws with a total yardage of 144 yards, 20 passing, 124 passing, 20 on running offense. The Dogs with a great deal less yardage. However, we have to give their defense a great deal of credit. The 144 yards, as I said before, given up in 2 plays. 84 yards of that were 2 plays, 2 long pass plays. The Dogs had 19 yards running and 12 yards passing. Now they have a total offense of 31 yards. looks like that Self was 1 for 6 in the passing department for his 12 yards. However, they had Gerald's ended up with, for the individual statistics, Gerald's ends up with a -1 yard the first half. Brian Price with 4 yards total. Grant was 7 yards on offense. However, he did run back 2 punts for a total of 63 yards. So his total offense ends up being about 70 yards. Fetch catch is the only pass of the first half for 12 yards. Was -14 for the first half. Of course, both of those were caught in the backfield trying to throw the ball. So he ends up with a -14 running. Taylor ends up with 11 and Laughlin with 12. So I think the best thing that the Dogs have done in the first half is play defense. And if they can play as good a defense and hopefully break loose here and get either Grant or Earls loose here, they both show the potential of being able to get loose. If one of them can get loose, why, this might end up 7-0 or something like that, Jim.
They get their choice this time as they come out. So if you look at it, you might want to take this end of the field the first time, because that's where all of the playing has been, is in the north end of the field, isn't it?
That's right, and the Dogs have really, I don't think, say enough about their defense. Offensively, as I just said, we haven't done a great deal, but defensively, I don't think we can ask for much better play. If they play as well in the second half, they will have put up as good a defensive show as I think we've seen in several years. This is no slouch team for those of you who are not out here and see the size. These are some big boys on this Bible team.
Yes, they do. They've got several boys over that 200-pound and considerably. You're looking in that line, in the center of that line, a 230, a 220, and a 240.
Well, and of course, their quarterback at 195, and he's been stood up numerous times, just stand right up at the offensive line, by the defensive line, So I think they've done a super job. One thing we might mention, looks like we're going to have a few minutes here. The band's got off here about 3 minutes early. Jim, we've been told here at halftime that we are going to televise on a delayed basis. We're going to tape and replay the Charleston game next Saturday afternoon. So we'll watch your Channel 12 for some definite plans as to when, for those of you who have to work on Saturday and can't get over there, we are going to tape delay and rebroadcast the Charleston game and some of the festivities and all of that kind of stuff next Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, we would urge everyone to come out. Obviously, a lot of plans are in the making for the 100th man. We would urge everybody to come out. It would be nice to see the ball game, and you might like to see the rerun on the TV. As the boys, a lot of times, use the TV to see what they've done or should have done the night before. As the Bulldogs come on the field for the second half.
Yeah, I think that, like you say, I think a lot of people would like to see the game, but if we, a lot of the people that game here, and we broadcast live from Sikeston here on the evenings, and those people who come to the game don't necessarily see it. I think it is rebroadcast sometimes during the week, but
right.
Maybe those people would like to see us and see what we do up here and how we do the ball game. And they can check us out. They can go to the ball game and watch it, and then watch the replay later in the week, and see if we say the right things and call it the same way that they see it.
We have the Volkswagens who grew up to be a Cadillac just walked in the booth. Jay Greenwood's just come. Isn't he big? Look at that.
He
they're going to have to make the booth bigger, aren't they, just to get him in here?
Either that or make all of the people stand on the other end at least. So they
just
don't
keep it. Looks like we're just about ready for second half football. Any predictions?
I'd say it's going to be close, Jim. I really feel like I'll have to say that I didn't think it would be so close coming in. I knew we were inexperienced, and looking at Blytheville's lineup and at their stats and everything, I really probably felt bad about it early on at the half. I feel real good. I think that they've done a real good job, and I think they have to be happy regardless. I think if you can shut out any team with this a looking team at least. I mean, I don't know from the size and the quickness and all of the ability that looks like down there, and you can shut these boys down. I think that all of our fans have a lot to look forward to.
Sure.
This may be by far one of the better teams that we'll have to face, and and we've shut them down. So I think hopefully, if the biggest thing I think that's going into the second half will be we've got a bunch of boys going both ways, and it's warm.
Sure is that.
And so we'll just have to see. I hope it's going to be close, and I'm going to say it will be, Jim. So I'll let y'all have it, and I'll see if I can't get you some stats for the end of the game.
You think I can put Coach on the spot here?
I imagine so.
Okay. George, you got a prediction?
I'm chewing this ice first. I'm trying to get my body temperature down to about 105.
It's not too bad outside this booth. It's something else.
We're back inside the booth now, Jim. I was trying to think defensively. Bulldogs played very well. One adjustment they might make is on number 6, Chris Lutz. In an attempt to cover him a little better to the inside, you've got to stay with him. You don't want him break one on off outside and go. Maybe just a little help from the inside on covering Lutz. Other than that, defensively, things were going pretty well. Offensively, as I overheard some of Ron's statistics, the Bulldogs did not gain a lot of yardage on the ground or through the air. So, as we talked earlier, that's one of the facets of your game. It's going to take a little while longer to come around, but there are certain things maybe that the coaches picked up that they are able to exploit the defense of the Chickasaws, and we'll just have to see. One touchdown may win this game, and a break at either end of the football field, a fumble picked up, an interception, and a good return. Maybe a return punt by Greg Grant again would get the Bucks in position, and they can push it across and hope your defense can score and go from there. Bulldogs 6, Blytheville nothing.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
You said you wanted a prediction, so 6 old dogs.
You know, it seemed to me that there's two things that they might have to watch for. One is that slant pass this second half. Looked like they were getting their timing down a little better, and if not picked up on that in the locker room, that could be a
that's
tough
one
thing
adjustment
for us.
that they were going to have to make is double cover Lutz, number 6 there on that one. You can't give him the outside, but you got to have a little help on him back when he slants back across the middle. You're going to have to cheat one of your secondary people over a little bit toward that. They don't seem they want to throw that ball to the other side, so you may be able to cheat a little bit with one of your secondary people and cover Lutz a little tighter in across the middle.
I'll also predict that if we can get that medium pass, we'll get your one touchdown.
Okay, let's hope so.
All right, we're ready for second half football. Scores 0-0 as the Chickasaws will kick to the Bulldogs.
Great Grant back
as they take it off a little out from center, and Grant deep.
Yeah, got it teed up at the right hash. Going to kick it toward Brian Price, perhaps.
All right, ready to run it all the way back to start this second half. Get your 7 points, and we can just go home then, huh?
I think so.
Okay. Kick, and it's to this side. Price picks it up, comes upfield as he's tripped up as he crosses the 20-yard line.
Well, we're back pretty deep in our own territory here again to start, so let's just have a long, sustaining drive, eat up most of the third quarter, and push it in.
The best way to do it is we could do two things with one then, couldn't we?
Well, one thing, too, you keep your defense off the field for a little while. They did play most of the first half, although you've got, I think there's 5 Bulldogs playing both ways. 5 of your defensive people that are out here on offense, but it is giving the others a break.
Let's see. Self opens up at quarterback in the second half. Fetch is split out to this side.
Gerald and Price in the backfield.
The give is to Gerald as he breaks off tackle on the far side, and he'll pick up a few, but not much. One thing about it, if they could make a sustained drive, you know the other team's not going to score as long as you got the ball.
That's true. Keith Buck into the game for the Bulldogs with the play.
He splits to this side.
Set up in the
Man
slot
goes
this
into
side.
the slot. Out of the eye. He gives to the first man through. He breaks through, and that's Price. He picks up 6-7 yards. Just shy of a 1st and 10.
Good tough run up the middle. Good pickup. Going to bring up 3rd and about 3.
Good down. 3rd and short yardage gives you a little more.
They've got the option here. I don't really suspect that they'll put the ball in the air unless it would be a quickie or something, but probably keep it on the ground and try to pick up the 1st and 10. They're in pretty tight.
Again, Buck is split out to this side. They've got the slot to this side. The give is to first
Price,
man through, and
he's
that
going
was
to be
Price,
short.
and he's going to be a little short of the ball. He has to cross the 25, the 30, excuse me. And
Out comes Grubbs, the punter, so Bulldogs will give it up on their first offensive set of the second half. Kept it about 2 minutes.
The offense did a little better, I think, on the first series of downs, though, than what we saw in the first half. So maybe they've made some adjustments, get some coordination here, and maybe we can see a little better.
It may take an offensive set or two to work the adjustments.
Uh-oh, we've got a penalty because he was...
I think Lutz did give the fair catch.
Yeah, he looked like he was waving, and so he was tackled.
He made no attempt to run with the ball after he caught it. And
in fact, he wasn't given much of a chance to, was he?
No. That's going to move them into Bulldog territory.
I believe that was on a sophomore, Ron Ryan.
That was right at midfield. Officials got the ball, and he's going 10, 15 yards. Well, about 17. So we're calling on that defense right now to turn in and do it again for us.
Yeah, that's the bad thing. You can't just keep going to the well too often, can you?
No.
Well, let's see what they learn in the locker room. Basically the same offensive alignment as they split the end of the far side. The backfield split. The pitch is to number 8 as he tries around the corner, and he doesn't make anything. It's a good...
No, Blytheville's not been able to run wide much at all. They've tried they string that play out. The Bulldogs do. They cover that well, and a loss on that play.
We've got just under 9.5 minutes left, third quarter. Again, there's no score.
I think number 6, Lutz, coming to our side here is the receiver that you've got to watch. That seems to be Crawford's primary receiver. And as we also noticed, Grant moves out a little bit this side to maybe cover him a little better in the middle. One thing we thought they might have to do.
You can, generally speaking, good play as he broke right through and pulled him from the back. And who is that?
That's Willie Gillespie again. He's been in the Blytheville backfield all night.
Just excellent play right through the center. That's the best pass defense you can get.
Certainly is. Gillespie, a junior, weighing in at 215 pounds. A nose guard. He's breaking in over the center, and he's putting some pressure on Crawford.
It appears to me, too, you can kind of tell when he's going to throw the slant pass. He'll drop back only a couple of steps on the slant pass, where he drops back like 3 steps on the deep set pass.
Hey, watch Lutz on the quickie to the inside here.
Yes, that might be in a setup from the last one.
Throwing away from him. Incomplete.
Incomplete.
Intended for number 4, L.D. Anderson. So nothing thrown in Lutz's direction that set, which is good.
That's right. Fourth in about 15 or 16 yards.
They list Lutz at a 200-pound junior, so we'll have to put up with him next year, I guess.
Yes. Good size. He's got good moves.
No Bulldog back for this punt. Should we not have a man deep?
I don't know. Well, they feel that they're faking it. Or they're going to let her go. They're going to let that sucker go in, and it just barely gets in. I mean, woo!
Well, that solves the problem of your receiver stealing the ball inside the 10. Just don't put one back there and hope it rolls in the end zone, as that one did.
That was mighty close. As they got down in a hurry, and it was kind of surprising.
The Bulldogs are going to open second offensive set at just about the same point that they did a moment ago at the start of this half, at the 20.
Well, let's see if we can't get it rolling here. We've got Fetch coming to this side. The man in the slot is Grant.
Laughlin at quarterback.
The pitch is to, 40?
That's Gerald's.
That's Gerald's. He makes the corner, and he'll pick up a few yards as he makes it.
He turned the corner well, ran into the cornerback, and over him for a couple additional yards.
So he'll pick up 5, 6, 7 yards?
Yeah, good pickup.
Yes. Second and, let's call it 2.
2 or 3 red shirts out in front leading the blocking on that play.
Yeah, they look like they're being able to run just a little better in the opening series of the second half here.
I think it could be due to some coaching adjustments on the offensive line there. The coaches picked up, and the kids are adjusting to him.
Again, he's still up and still moving as he comes through. Laughlin boy does an excellent job of faking.
Yes, he does. That was number 42, Chris Taylor. Again, another good run right up the middle.
That same play is the play that he picked up in the first half, wasn't it?
185-pound junior showing us a little something here, Jim. He's made a couple of good hard runs up the middle.
As he crosses the 40-yard line, ball just across the 40-yard line of the Bulldogs. It'll be a 1st and 10 as the Bulldogs are moving the ball here.
Going after that 6, aren't they?
Good for them. Backfield is split this time. The give is to
Self running out of a halfback position. That's one thing Coach Vickery did say too. He said we've got some capable people, and you're going to see. There's your quarterback. You see him out of the backfield, and you're going to see some things, people rotating around, getting full use of your players.
That was the one thing that he had, which was a little problem in choosing between quarterbacks. You had a quarterback that one ran a little better than the other one, and the other one passed maybe a little
get them both in
stronger
there at one
arm.
time.
That's right.
Laughlin on a quickie to the 85.
Fetch.
Joe Fetch, incomplete. Just were told they were taking Greg Latham to the hospital for some precautionary x-rays maybe of the ankle or the knee area. They don't know how serious, but they want to take every precaution and see if he is hurt seriously.
Well, we hope nothing serious. As we're just under 6.5 minutes left in the third quarter, Bulldogs are on the move. Running out of the eye as fetches this side. A drop back.
Wow. Tried to run that screen again, but 58 for Blytheville was right in the middle of it and almost picked the ball off. Bobby Pearson, 130-pound sophomore.
And it didn't look like to me that our screen man was there and ready. I don't think he was looking for the ball. He wasn't even turned around.
No, he was. He was still going forward. He hadn't turned around and looked.
That's one of the things that really got to be a timing, because if you get a lot of pressure on that quarterback, that man has to be ready a little early.
True. He's got to expect the ball just from the outset. But good coverage. Grant, first contact, brings down the ball carrier.
As he crosses the 30 up to about the 33-yard line, the Chickasaws will take over in their own territory. 1st and 10. 6:13 left in the third quarter.
Joe Sevick also down there quick for the Dogs. Well, the Chickasaws backed up a little deeper this time.
Well, let's see if we can't make them stay here. Bulldogs have changed their defensive alignment just a little bit too. They're not in the umbrella. Right up the middle.
Good pickup. Chris Taylor on the tackle, doing things offensively and defensively for the Bulldogs.
Pickup of about 7 yards. It'll be in 3.
Still scoreless, Jim. Third quarter, a little over half over.
This is where you just hope that you get a break and can get that score.
Well, in the heat and humidity, conditioning may be a factor here just about any time. Who's in the best condition?
Putting it up high and low.
All right, we're going to get in offense.
Yeah, pass interference there as Lutz, ball intended for Lutz, was all over the back of Chris Mooney, who intercepted the ball.
Yeah, I was going to say...
a little slow in throwing the flag, but...
He's got a right to go for the ball, but he just came right over him rather than really any real intent to... Yeah, offensive pass interference. So that'll bring the ball back. I could not tell. Did the defensive man catch that ball? I mean, the offensive man catch that ball?
I don't know, Ron. Did Mooney catch the ball? Thought he came down with it. Apparently not. Blytheville's going back deep, and the ball's coming back. May have lost it on the way to the ground.
That'll bring it deep, put it inside the 30-yard line. That's a loss of down also, isn't it? That's very expensive because they take it from the line of scrimmage, don't they?
From the line of scrimmage and loss of down brings up third and about 16.
So that's about a loss of down and about a 40-yard turnaround.
Yes. Pretty smart play on the defender's part, though. Mooney was in position to catch the ball, and at least Blytheville retains possession.
Let's see what they
Crawford scrambling around again and able to find receiver Anderson.
They call it a completed pass. I think Mark Gerald thought it was trapped. Nice catch. It was low and on the ground, and he just dug it right out of there.
Crawford stands back there fairly calmly under pressure and moves to his right or to his left, still looking for receivers. Doing a nice job.
Okay, they shift the unbalanced line side, give to the man right up the middle, and he doesn't make much. He'll get maybe a yard up the middle. 88 and 32.
Brian Price, Gillespie in there also.
Price and Ryan. I believe number 88 is Ron Ryan. He's playing a defensive end. They're really playing...
Got the linebacker stacked in.
Yeah, really stacked in, and one of them looks like they're splitting.
Now that's Ryan that set up at an angle from the linebacking position, and he's red dogging at the snap of the ball. He's charging in.
I noticed the coaching staff must have made a little change as they've taken cornerback to stay inside of number 6.
And then he's got help from Greg Grant to the inside a little deeper.
I noticed that was an interesting play. I think he thought maybe he might get a call of pass interference as the defensive men stayed right inside of him. Gerald's put on him this time.
Now we've got Gerald himself on Lutz.
Ooh, nice play as he comes.
That's Lutz again.
Tackled by Grant and Self.
Chickasaw's on the move, scoreless with 3:33 in the third quarter remaining.
They move the ball down to inside the Bulldogs' 40-yard line to about the 7-yard line. As the Bulldogs have kind of mixed up their defense this second half. Oh, good play as he was right in there. He got there almost as fast as the ball did from the quarterback.
I think that's Gillespie, the tackle, that's a little slow in getting up.
He's rolling over.
I think Willie's all right. He may be beginning to feel a little bit of the heat.
Willie's played an excellent ball game
Certainly
tonight.
has.
He's a 215-pound junior, and that means a lot could be seen of him in the coming years, isn't it?
Yeah, something to look forward to.
As he goes out, looks like they're going to give him a little breather here. And let's see who comes in is Ron Baker, 235-pound senior, comes in to take his place. That's number 56 on your screen there. As you see, Chipper Thornton.
Well, we've got a second, Jim. I think you were talking to Ron. I did hear you mention something about next Saturday's 100th football game, which been a lot of excitement and a lot of build-up, publication, and publicity and everything, all centered around this 100th football game with Charleston. A very old rivalry. Should be a good game.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the oldest rivalry in Southeast
I believe
Missouri.
that's right. I think I read that.
And
not the 100th year, but the 100th game, because I did read way back. They did play twice in the seasons, but this is the 100th meeting.
Uh-oh, that quarterback moved. Yeah, I was going to say, that may be a delay of game, but he also made a definite move as he popped that shoulder up
official was quick to catch that, and that's going to cost them 5. I think, again, from what I read in the paper, Charleston in a rebuilding year also, very much similar to what the Bulldogs are in, but you know Charleston's going to have the speed. They always have the speed to get outside. Generally a quarterback that throws the ball pretty well. So with all the hoopla and everything that's built up around this game, it's a Saturday afternoon, expecting about 5,000 people to show up. It's going to be a good one.
Well, and, you know, all of the expectations and the statistics can go out the door on that kind of a game.
That's right. That's a hometown rivalry there practically.
Uh-oh, I believe we've got an offside on the tackle on the far side.
That'll cost the Chicks another 5.
Yeah, he moved a little soon. It looked like it to me. So that'll be another 5, and they'll move it back another 5. Now we got them going in the right direction. We're down to 2:26 left in the in the third quarter. As you see a few of the cheerleaders of the Blytheville Chickasaws. Got a nice crowd here tonight.
Pretty good crowd for a hot, humid night. A lot of people in the Blytheville section there. I don't know how many people they brought up with them, but at least that section for the visitors is practically full.
Stands on both sides look, you know, pretty full. He tries off tackle and he'll gain a few yards, but not much. It'll be a 3rd and about 20?
3rd and long. Gillespie back in, 56. Ron Baker out.
They want to put the pressure on that quarterback. Ends are split as is the backfield. Crawford calling the signals. He drops deep. Man's going right deep, cut across the middle, and he's got man wide open in the middle, and he hits him finally.
And he's hit immediately by Gerald, but reception short of the 1st and 10.
He was running across the field there, and he really was trying to get his attention, wasn't he?
Gerald's really put a hit on him. Going to bring up a 4th and about 2.
That's been the open area in that middle of that.
Yeah, that's a split man that split out, and he's taking a step to the outside and slanting quickly to end across the middle, and the Bulldogs have not been able to stop that very often tonight.
A little different alignment this time in the deep. Oh, man, he got it right there. I mean, he was there at the time that the ball was there. Beautiful.
Mr. Gillespie in there again. Willie's not hurt.
That was Price, 32.
Price
shot the gap and came right on in.
So the defense is held again and take over once again deep in their territory. A little better though, at about the 32, 33-yard line.
That's an improvement.
About time to start that long drive though. Take it into about midway 4th quarter.
The pitch is to Gerald as he tries to cut upfield, and he's not going to get much this time. He'll make a little bit, but not much. Maybe 2 or 3 yards as we're almost to get the end of the 3rd quarter.
That play was very slow in developing to the right side. Some of the Bulldog blockers got into Gerald's way, and the Blytheville sniffed it good and had some defenders over to stop it.
Yeah, I thought the Blytheville line did a good job. They just strung it out, and that's what you got to do on that end around.
That's going to end the 3rd quarter.
As we end the 3rd quarter, we're still scoreless, 0-0 ball game.
6-0 Bulldog still looks pretty good.
Yes, it does.
Maybe on this drive.
12 minutes, and we want to get 6 points and hold them scoreless. That would be a big feather.
Yes, it would. I look back to last year. I did go to Blytheville to see that first game. It was a triple overtime victory for the Bulldogs. And I think that kind of set the stage for the season. Had they lost that game in double or triple overtime, and you can kind of hang your head, but they did win it, and I think that got the kids some early confidence, and then just onward they rolled after that. Same thing tonight. A victory here will, again, for this relatively young and inexperienced Bulldog team that's gaining some on-the-field experience now, a victory will be a big boost to their confidence.
Yeah, I think that's particularly true this year, where you've got a a very inexperienced team. A victory here could make them feel a little bigger than what their suits really are.
Right. Yeah. Here we can play football with these teams and we can win. So.
We got more yardage in the third quarter than we got in the whole first.
Ron says more yardage in the third quarter offensively than the first half for the Bulldogs. So it is an improvement.
Self is back at quarterback as they try the crossbuck up the middle.
That was Taylor. Didn't get quite as much that time as what he has previously.
And again, you could tell the timing is off in the handoff.
Yeah. Taylor slightly shaken up. It bounces up.
Looks like he got it maybe in the area, maybe on his arm. I'm not sure.
He leaves and Price back in.
Okay, we're in the fourth and final quarter. No score.
Big down, 3rd and 5, Jim. If we don't make this, we'll have to give it back to Blytheville.
Boy, the Chickasaws look like they got an awful lot of guys on the field on defense, don't they? Oh, my. Good call.
Gerald was out in the flats.
Yes.
The ball thrown a little bit high. He was off balance in trying to make the catch, bring up a 4th and 5. They'll have to punt it.
For a quarterback's defense, that is probably the toughest pass there is. That's a very short angle, and that's probably as tough a pass as there is for a quarterback to throw, is that real short angle.
You want to get the ball out in front of that back and hopefully to hit him as he is striding, and it is very difficult to throw and complete.
All right, the Bulldogs will punt as the Chickasaws drop too deep. They'll be standing right at the 30-yard line. Punts are a little short.
Yeah.
Getting some roll as it rolls down to just shy of the 30-yard line, about the 32 or 3-yard line. 1st and 10, Chickasaws from their own 33. 11-18 left in the ball game. No score.
Well, it's up to the defense to do it again and get the ball back to the offense with enough time to push one down and in.
And as you predicted, you want them to have one series so they get their 6 points, right?
Right. Maybe we can pick up a fumble or something down here. Price breakthrough or Gillespie and jar one loose.
That's a real possibility, the way they've been breaking through the middle of that line.
Or we'll take an interception. Going for Lutz. He's open. Boy, that fella's taking some hits, but he comes down with the football just about every time. Came to the Chickasaw.
Yeah, that one looked like we may have tried to time our hit so that he dropped the ball.
Might have blown a little coverage. Lutz shouldn't have been that open with 2 people that are out there basically responsible. One on the end quick and the other one a little deeper, and he was open pretty much. Comes over and he's down to the sideline. He's feeling that hit from Grant. He's down on his knees. Maybe just had the breath knocked out of him.
So the Chickasaws have it 1st and 10 on the Bulldogs' 42. They've used the same alignment all night. The quick end.
Picked off.
Picked off by the Bulldogs. Past the 50 down to the 45.
That's Mooney.
And Mooney was waiting on that one. Again, they went to the well once too often. Where your defense is it, and the one thing that the Chickasaws have done, it looks like a pattern. You can always tell the drop as to about where he's going to pass that ball.
Yeah, you're right. On that quick little slant that he likes to throw, he'll only take the ball and step 2 back and fire it out there. But that time Mooney was waiting for it and was giving the ball back to the Bulldogs.
Down to 10 minutes left in the ball game. We'll take 9.5 of it, move it down to the goal. Grant split to this side.
Laughlin in at quarterback.
Laughlin back, going to
pull
pull
deep to
along
Grant.
And it picked off. And Grant just a little short as the Chickasaws intercept it. The ball was intended for Greg Grant as he fled the sideline.
Laughlin had Grant open just for an instant, but 42 for the Chickasaws. Interception. Dinkins closed down in a hurry and did pick the ball off.
Again, that's the inexperience. The quarterbacks will learn that they'll throw that to the outside, which will kind of protect that ball from being picked off. But again, you know, you're talking about somebody who's not had the experience, and that's just one of those things. They got to play to find that.
That's true.
Well, we'll just let them throw over right down here, and we'll just pick it off again. Little quick one in.
Throw. Going to call pass interference on Gerald's there.
That's kind of a tough pass. Maybe he bumped him ahead of time and I couldn't see it from here, but it didn't look like the bump was until after he was already on the ground.
Yeah, the receiver dove for the ball. Pass interference, Bulldogs. Not a very popular call with the crowd. It's a little partisan maybe, but
that brings the ball up to about the 28-yard line.
Just about where he caught the pass, maybe a yard or two beyond where the reception.
So with less than 10 minutes left, we've got a timeout. It's a official timeout, probably for some equipment adjustment.
Ron Sells going to the sideline.
We've got
Dana Carter comes in.
Carter coming in.
Carter's a big man.
Yes, he is.
At 225.
And he's the only real experienced offensive lineman that they have this year.
That's true. He played quite, if not most of last year.
Ron Ryan going to the end on the far side is unbalanced the line to that side. Quick, he fumbles, tries to run, and he's got the corner. Nobody was out here. That's got to be, can't be correct, can it? There's just nobody. Once he made the corner, there was nobody here 10 or 15 yards.
No, I guess cornerback had gone deep as Grant hobbling a little bit. He made the stop on Crawford, but he's a little shaken up. So I guess the cornerback from that side went deep with one of the wide receivers, and when Crawford decided to run, there wasn't anybody at home on that corner to turn him back in. And a good pickup.
Okay, the ball's up to the 45 of the Chickasaws.
You sure don't like to see number 14 limping off the field.
No, you don't. Hopefully that's just an ankle, no more than a sprain at least. Maybe it could be one of those where you just get kicked and it's just
Charlie horse or something,
yes.
And you can bounce back pretty quick.
Let's see, we're going to get a timeout, Bulldogs.
Laughlin enters the game for Grant on defense. Got both quarterbacks in on defense at this point.
Well, we've got a little time. We might again remind them of the next Saturday. Now, that's not Friday night. It's Saturday afternoon. What is that?
I think it's a 1:30 start.
1:30?
1:30 start at Charleston. The 100th meeting between the Bulldogs and the Blue Jays.
We know that the Blue Jays are going to have lots of folks over there, so we're going to need some rooters.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Blue Jays opened up with Marion, Arkansas tonight. You know? I thought that's what I saw in the paper, but of course no report of that score now.
Sharpen up on those Razorbacks, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, they could have come up with Blytheville and both came. We've just over 9 minutes left in the ball game as there is no score.
'88, Ryan. We've got Gillespie Carter on the front, Sells,
Gerald
Price.
and Laughlin at the cornerbacks, and the safeties are what? Self and can't tell who's on the far side. Drops deep, intends to go deep. Would you call that holding on this side?
Pass intended for the tight end Alvin Clay, who dribbled it around a few times before it hit the ground, incomplete.
In fact, that was bad enough you'd almost charge him to ride that taxi, wouldn't you?
But no flag.
Probably he was like the rest of us. He was watching where the ball was.
Grant back into the game.
Okay, that makes the safeties Self and Grant.
Laughlin and Gerald's at the corner.
Okay. Price and... Uh-oh.
Is that our man Lutz again on that reception?
Looks like it.
His number
Yep.
6.
Sure is, isn't it?
One thing in the first half, Crawford's getting a little more time to throw in the second half. The Dogs are not able to put as much pressure on him, and he's having a little more time and able to throw deeper, and he's completing them, and the Chickasaws are moving close.
So that brings it down to about the 10-yard line of the Bulldogs. No, it's about the 15-yard line. 1st and 10, 8:45 left in the ball game, and Keith really got to get down and dig now. They played a lot of football tonight.
They sure have. They've been out there a good portion of
Going
the game.
deep. And, a good play, and that's Ryan on him that time as he comes from the blind side.
Sophomore Ron Ryan, 190 pounds in on the tackle. Big defensive play at that position of the field.
Yes, sir. That really makes a lot of difference.
Big loss of 10.
Ron's a sophomore, isn't he?
Yeah, we just mentioned that the Bulldogs weren't putting as much pressure on Crawford. I guess Ron maybe heard us or some way got the message to him. And he comes in and sacks the quarterback for a 10-yard loss. We've almost got 3 people on Lutz out here now. See the triangle that they've set up on him,
yes.
too short, and they've moved Thornton, the linebacker, out. Touchdown.
Touchdown. Smart call as they played to the offside. Everything was built up to Lutz on this side, and they just called it to the far side.
25-yard touchdown pass to number 7. That's Felix Ruffin. Crawford to Ruffin for the score.
So that's the first 6. Would you take a tie ball game?
I'm going to have to change my prediction. Bulldogs 7, Blytheville 6.
Okay.
Maybe 8-7, pending on this extra point attempt here.
Okay.
But the Bulldogs had to score to win anyway, so.
That's right. Looks like they're going to try the kick. Number 66,
Patrick Rayner.
195-pound junior will do the kicking. We've got a flag, and
I don't believe Blytheville was perfectly set to snap of the ball. It's going to cost them 5 and a try at it again.
Oops, come on
Kick
back
was
here,
good.
Looked like he had pretty good leg on it.
Yeah, good height.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't try the three-pointer in the first half.
Probably didn't think of it, Jim. I don't know. I'm glad they did, turns out. But.
So they'll retry. Move them back 5 and try it again.
The extra 5 may be a psychological bearing on the kicker.
Let's hope so.
He had plenty of distance on that first kick to make up the extra 5, but sometimes you think, gosh, I'm 5 yards further. I got to kick it a lot harder, and he may shank it.
So with 7:49 left, Bulldogs trail now by 6 on a 25-yard pass from Crawford to, who was it, number 7?
Ruffin.
Ruffin. Okay.
Overloaded one side to Lute.
Okay,
Jim, what have we done?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there, but all of a sudden they got another point on the board.
There's the call.
I thought it was this, but I can move it.
We're trying to figure out what that is.
Well, the call was against the Bulldogs.
It certainly was, but I don't see how you can get a call where you can put a point on automatically with it. What would that be?
Well, Blytheville just simply refused the penalty, and they accepted the extra point kick as
the flag
good.
originally was against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I guess. I certainly thought I saw movement at the left side of the line, and that was going to be the penalty, but obviously not the case as the 7-0 Chickasaw lead holds up.
Well, we'll just have to run the thing all the way back this time.
Well, we're looking at 8-7 now, Bulldogs.
Okay.
Touchdown and 2-point conversion.
All right, as they set up to kick off to the Bulldogs, we've got Grant deep. The up men are Gerald's on this side and Price far side. As he's ready, the kick is from the Bulldogs' 45-yard line.
Penalty assessed on the kickoff. Now that's into the end zone. The Bulldogs will have it at the 20.
That's interesting. Grant almost started to run that thing out, and the official had blown his whistle.
Yeah, as soon as that ball breaks the plane in high school,
it's
that
dead.
Ends the play. You can't run them out of the end zone, a punt or a kickoff.
Grant wanted to.
Yeah, he did. Well, we've got 80 yards to go and 7:49 to do it as the Bulldogs trail 70-0 in the fourth period.
Okay, we'll take 10 yards a minute.
That was clogged up. That was Grant on wing back across again. Very little pickup.
We've got an injured Bulldog on the far side. Looks like a knee.
Maybe a cramp. Some of the heat might be affecting some of the dogs.
Looks like McClarty, Tom McClarty. .738. Bulldogs now trailing by 7. They have the ball on their own 21-yard line. It'll be second and about 8 yards to go, 9 yards.
I think they're looking at the knee area.
It looked like that's what he was holding as he went down.
Coach Fiddler and John Harris, the trainer, out looking him over. The Bulldogs, good thing, always have a doctor or physician on the sideline.
They've always, that's one of the things that I've really thought and been proud of the Bulldogs for, because they've always had a doctor who was willing to spend his time, and it does take a lot of time.
Yeah, that's very complimentary of the physicians, but it's also so reassuring to a coach or to the staff of coaches to know that you've got a physician on the sideline. If any of an injury, serious or not, takes place, you've got somebody there that that's very qualified to handle it for you.
And I guess Fred's been there, what, 5, 6, 7 years at least that I know he spent all the time there.
Well, it's a good vantage point to see the football game. It's, you can see if you don't have any injuries, you enjoy walking the sidelines watching the game. 2nd and 9.
Laughlin back to pass. He's got plenty of time. It's, ooh, Self, let's see, and it bounces, and it's still bouncing around.
Number 80, Darrell Watson, had a shot after that ball was tipped 2 or 3 times, but falls incomplete.
The intended receiver was Brian Self.
Number 10. 3rd and 9.
What do you call here, Coach? A 9-yarder, a 10-yarder.
You've got to try to look in your playbook to find a 9-yarder, but you've almost going to have to put the ball in the air. The running attack is slowed down considerably. Fakes the draw.
Oh, way out of... Somebody got a little messed up. I think the quarterback thought that the end would apparently
break a little bit, yeah, and ball was overthrown to Ryan, bringing up a 4th and 9, and did the punter? Yeah, the punter came in.
So it'll be a 4th and 9. The Bulldogs will have to punt to the Chickasaws, and we got this fella Lutz back here wanting to catch that ball again.
Kick it away from him, Jim. Don't give him a shot. High kick, but short.
Very short to kick. It looks like he has a very short span with his leg. He doesn't come all the way through with it. Gets, amazingly, quite a bit of height on it even.
Yeah, it kicks pretty high. The distance is a little bit lacking. Maybe that will be coming later. Of course, that was another thing that the Bulldogs had to replace Scott Carmody graduating. He did all of the kicking off, the extra points, and the punting last year, and did a very fine job punting. So that's another position or facet of the game that the Bulldogs have to replace.
All right, it'll be the Chickasaws as they take over 1st and 10 on the Bulldogs' 42 3-yard line.
And you got to be concerned about the defense. Can they do it again?
That's right. They've just played an awful lot of football tonight.
For the first time. Boom.
Oh, still got. He'll have no gain there. Is the middle of the line all piled in there.
At 74, Dana Carter making first contact. May have lost a yard.
It'll be 2nd and we'll call it 11. 6.5 minutes left in the ball game. Bulldogs trailing by 7. New alignment for the Chickasaws. Oh, as he powers his way over the tackle slot, picks up 7, 8 yards maybe. Crosses
Number 8,
the 40 down to about the 43 or 4 yard line.
Roy Holloman.
It'll be 3rd and about 5. Pickup of 6.
Appears they're just going to keep it on the ground and try to eat up as much time as what they can, leading 7-0. Under 6 minutes to go.
And they've got it down in this end of the field, so they really don't have much to lose.
No, everything's in Blytheville's favor at this point.
The alignment is a little different. As they shift out of that, put a man in the slot as split backfield, put him in motion, and
got people going every which way.
Yeah, we sure do. We've got what looked like we had 2 men in motion in the backfield, which would be an illegal formation.
Now, one at a time in motion. He did pick up the 1st and 10, but that one's going to come back. Going to give them about a 3rd and 10. At the Bulldog 42, 43 yard line.
Illegal motion, all right. 3rd and a short 10.
He might look for Crawford now. Ball in the air.
Ruffin came in. That's the other split end. He splits to this side as Lutz splits to the far side. They've got 2 good pass catchers.
Lutz comes
as
to this
Lutz
side
comes
now.
back to this side, goes in the slot. Goes, uh-oh, we've got some movement again. Yeah, sure do. That'll bring them back another 5. Yeah. Backfield in motion.
The Bulldogs have done a good job. They've been relatively penalty-free, and that's one thing that you can say that's complimentary about them, that they've not been penalized much tonight, and you don't always expect it, but you'll tolerate a few more penalties earlier in the season until some of the kinks get worked out, but they've done a good job of keeping the penalty flag away.
I was just thinking, is the pass interference penalty the only one the Bulldogs have?
I think we had, Ron said there was illegal procedure or something in the first half. But not many flags.
Sure have. Tries him deep.
Brian
Nice
Self
play.
breaks that up, yeah. Brian tall enough to get right in and tip that ball away.
Same pattern that they ran for the touchdown, except they had a little longer field to run it in.
Uh-huh. That'll force them to punt.
Well, we've got just under 5 minutes. We've got plenty of time. We'll just take it here and march it in. Grant deep. He's back on his own about 15, 16-yard line.
Pretty good kick.
Kick is to this side. he's going to try to field it. Try to go back. Uh-oh.
Pretty well.
He got the first break, and
pretty well.
He's all right. He got her back to about the 17, 18-yard line. So the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10, and they've got about 82 yards to, or excuse me, 78 yards to go. 82. I'm right the first time.
A long way.
A long way.
Laughlin, the quarterback. Price, Gerald, Grant.
Split backfield.
Fitch.
Man on the wing. He hits him. He's up 5 or 6.
No, I'm going to call it incomplete.
Incomplete. As
Good.
he just waited for him to catch it and just nailed him.
Must have jarred that ball loose because I think Fetch had it for an instant until he was nailed in the back by the defender.
Yeah, I thought he had it too.
Had his back to us.
Well, they're going to have to move the ball. It's going to mean that they're going to have to pass here for a little while as we're down to 4 minutes left.
Well, you hope you can fake that short look in sometime and maybe get Grant somebody deep. There's the fake, and he's trying to throw deep. Going to be picked off.
Be short, and it's intercepted. So and this is where it really gets tough, that defense. Long night, not much rest between downs.
Our receivers are outrunning the quarterback's arms.
Yes,
The
that's
quarterback's
right.
arms aren't quite catching up with the receivers, but
it's nice to have a experienced director, isn't it?
certainly is.
Okay, we've got a timeout on the field. They knew we were having trouble on the television here.
Well, it's like they do in the big time. They just call timeouts for
A
commercials.
television
Yeah.
timeout. Okay.
Got Stan Banderman on the field with the on-field camera, moving up and down the sidelines. Done a good job giving you the close-up pictures tonight. Clock running, 3:48. Blytheville 7-0 lead over the Bulldogs with the football.
And they're running right up through the middle. He'll pick up 3 or 4 yards.
And valuable time ticks away off the clock.
That's the killer to the Bulldogs at this stage.
And I didn't keep count. The Bulldogs have used up 2 or 3 of their penalties, allotted penalties in this half. I don't know if they've got too many left to stop the clock.
I'm not sure either. I'm not. I didn't keep that. Wait a minute, we've got
Maybe our statistician over here has
He's got everything,
shaking his head no.
You know, we thought Ron had everything, didn't you?
Yeah, Ron.
Yeah, even the bugs are getting worse here. Well, we're going to hold them off on 4 downs here and make a long run down the field.
Okay.
Okay, as we're ready again, ends are split completely to each side of the field.
Using a lot of time.
Trying to run right up the middle again.
Then run to dive.
As they're running down under 3 minutes. Bulldogs trailing by 7 as the Chickasaws scored about halfway through the 4th quarter and broke a scoreless tie. Lutz comes to this side. Ruffin goes to the far side.
On a 3rd and 6.
Think they'll put it in the air here?
No, I think he'll keep it on the ground again.
Almost have to, don't they? He's not getting anything. And
67 in there. Chico Ford's making the tackle.
so that'll bring 4th in about 7, 6. We're down to 2 minutes, and I suspect they'll probably, run it one more time?
Well, they're setting up to punt.
To kick, aren't they? They've got the ball on their 30, on the Bulldogs' 36-yard line. Grant's deep, standing on his own 5. And they're just going to take the penalty.
Through the delay.
And they don't mind the 5 yards back because it really won't hurt their punt any.
No, the time was more valuable to tick away then and take the 5 yards.
As we're down to 1:34. 7-0. 4th down. Short 10 to go. And they're going to be punting. The ball's back at the Bulldogs' 42-yard line. Kicker will be standing at about his own 45. And Grant's deep at his 10-yard line. And the Bulldog needs lots of yards.
The punter's a good actor.
Yes, he is. It goes into the end zone.
Tried to draw the roughing the kicker penalty again, was not successful. Well, Jim, I think regardless of what the offense is able to generate on this, most likely the last time they'll have the football, I think you've got to pat the defense on the back. They've done an excellent job for as much as they've been into the game tonight. They've helped Blytheville to 1 touchdown. That was a pass play of about 25 yards. But other than that, defensively, they have really done an excellent job tonight.
In fact, I don't know what the running yards are, but I would say we're right at 50. I was going to say under 50 yards. That's got to be excellent.
Laughlin passing over the middle, trying to hit Price, incomplete. Of course, again, the offense is going to take a little while longer to come around, to get every part of its working. Your blocking, your running plays, your pass plays, the receiving, and all of that. And certainly will give you something to work on in practice this next week, getting ready for Charleston. But defensively, all of those kids can hold their heads high.
They sure can. And I thought the offense had some sparks. If we've got a 1st and 10 there.
Complete to Brian Self.
I thought we had some sparks of some running in the 3rd quarter there that after we get it untangled could be a little plus down the field.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Certain running plays seem to click a little better than others. Grant ran well. Gerald's ran well at times. So, you know, it's a blocking, it's a running, it's a handling the football type of thing that can be improved upon, and I'm sure the coaches will get right after that. Of course, we've still got 1:12 here to get in the end zone yet. But
looks like they knocked the wind out of Self as he goes out. Over the middle, good K to Ron Ryan.
The Dogs are on the move offensively.
And they move that ball down the field.
Under a minute.
59 seconds and moving.
I'm afraid, again, the use of some of the timeouts early in this half may be a factor as we close down here. There's a penalty or a timeout or two we had to take for equipment repair, and I know there was a timeout for an injury one time.
Okay, we're about to get the ball set. And the Bulldogs want to be up, ready to get the clock starts to move at 59 seconds and counting down. Laughlin drops deep. Throws the ball deep. Touch. Oh, boy, he caught that. Who was that? We're down inside the 20-yard line as we're moving. Who was that?
I can't get his number yet.
Was that Ron Ryan again? Beautiful job. Number 88, wasn't it?
85, Fetch.
Or Fetch, 85?
I think so.
Beautiful job as we're down to 47 seconds. We got plenty of time. We're got plenty of time.
The Bulldogs do stop the clock with a timeout.
And we're inside the 20-yard line on, about the 16?
Yeah, Jim, I think that's right.
Beautiful.
That ball was thrown up in between
Ryan
a couple defenders. And Fetch brought it down. 85, Joe Fetch. going to get that 8-7 yet, Jim.
Oh, yeah. Said, I told you so, huh?
No, just hoping.
Hoped you so.
Yeah.
Well, it looks good from this stage, and that could be a real boom for them if they could come out of that. You talk about walking tall the next week.
Well, you're not
make them
kidding.
tough.
Offense hadn't generated a whole lot, but they're moving the football late here in the fourth quarter. If they can push it in, then a big boost to them.
Whoa. So to set this, we've got 47 seconds. The Bulldogs trail by 7. As the Bulldogs have it, 1st and 10 on the Chickasaws' 16-yard line. Fetch splits out to this side. Grant in the slot to the far side, and we're working out of the eye as Laughlin fakes. Over the middle, and it's too high. It was intended for Ryan.
Overthrown just a little bit.
Ron's a good-sized boy.
Yes, he is. He's sophomore.
39 seconds, and we still got plenty of time. You're looking at 16 yards to go, 39 seconds.
Darrell Wasson back into the game for the Dogs.
And they're ready to go. You can tell they want to get that thing now.
Offense is jumping around
Yes,
a little bit
sir.
now, aren't they? Showing a little fire.
Laughlin rolls to this side. Just over and out of the hands of Self.
Intended for Self, number 72, one of the Blytheville defensive tackles.
Good call.
Out on the
That's one of those that you might try the same thing and just run him a little deeper, because that linebacker is not going to be able to stay with Self, I don't believe.
No, not at all. 33 seconds, 3rd down.
Okay, this could be the telling one. Like that excitement, isn't it? Kind of like the Alabama-Georgia game we earlier talked about.
I think
So
everybody.
remember, folks, next week we could see lots of fireworks. Plan to go to that Charleston Bulldog game. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. We've got a penalty for pass interference. There wasn't any question about that.
Ball caught by Grant.
And that stops the clock more than anything else. That's the most important thing, is we've got 24 seconds. That would be, accept that penalty. What do you got, 1st and goal to go?
Right, the ball's at the 5.
In fact, you take it from the line of scrimmage.
Well, let's see who they're going to talk to first.
Let's see.
They want the Bulldog captain.
15 yards, it would go halfway inside the win.
Be at the 2.5. 1st and goal.
Oh, yes, this is really getting interesting. We told you, you should have been here, huh?
Right.
As he talks to Jim Laughlin, the quarterback for the Bulldogs, explaining his options, the ball is resting right now on the 5-yard line. If they take the penalty, what it would be, half?
Yeah, half the distance.
So it's refused. That would put it on the 8-yard line. This way they get it on the 5.
At 1st and 10, at the 1st and goal at the 5.
Okay, 1st and goal from the 5. All right, Bulldogs, we've got 24 seconds, and don't leave your seats.
Jim, when you score, do you go for 2, or you get the extra point and go for overtime?
You're the coach.
Well, let's get it in the end zone first.
Out to it. Uh-oh, he dropped it.
Gerald's had a handle on it, and it got away from him. 9 seconds.
9 seconds. That really ate up the time, I'm telling you. Boy, that was...
The Bulldogs must be out of timeouts, because if you had one left, this would be a time to call one and maybe regroup.
Now loop it in there, and you got a boy like Ryan that you can jump up high maybe. Say the short alley-oop, huh? Okay, this is going to be an interesting one. Wait a minute. We've got a timeout, Bulldogs.
Bulldogs have asked for a timeout.
Okay. That's got to be close to the last one, don't you think? Well, I guess with 9 seconds, you don't have much time to use them up anyway.
They may have used 1 or 2 more than they had, I'm not sure.
Looks like somebody's checking on it to see what they are.
I think they're signaling to the Blytheville bench that that was it for the timeouts for the Dogs.
Okay, Bulldogs used up their last timeout. They've got 9 seconds left. They're 7 points shy, and they're 5 yards from the goal line. This is where you pull the 5, 6 yard play out, don't you?
You look through the book and find that one.
Well, we've got to say that even with the offense sputtering, they've come to life, and they haven't given up.
No,
and that's a real plus.
Yeah, they've been persistent throughout, and then they've ignited a little bit here towards the end of the fourth quarter and desperately trying to push it in here.
Okay, Dogs.
If we had a timeout left, I'd like to see them bring Grant back on that wing back trap. Of course, if you try a run, you don't make it, that'll do it.
You got to throw it in the end zone. Yeah, okay. That you had to do. It seems to me that that's what you're going to have to do in the next 2 plays. The short slants, quick pass, use up the ability to use all 4 downs.
Yeah, you've only got 15 yards to work in, the 5 on the field and the 10 in the end zone to work through. So that certainly limits your passing.
This is where the coaches get the gray hairs.
Yeah, this will do it. Everybody's pretty well covered.
Oh, over his head, and that's it. He's out of time, just a little too long. That's the one where experience would say get rid of it in a hurry when you see they're covered.
Yeah, well, you know, like you say, that's a valuable lesson maybe that they learned in this situation, and you've got to be a little bit excited, though, about the way the offense came to life the last time they touched the football, and we'd ought to remark numerous times how well we felt the defense played, so, you know, all in all, pretty good showing first night. We talked about inexperience. We talked about